Hello everybody, how you doing? This is your coach and your friend Robert Burale. 1 minute with the coach.
The coaching industry is projected to be worth $22 billion by 2022. It's one of the world's fastest growing industries.
We stay on paths that are not our destiny.
Gurus are not new, but in modern times it's grown to include the practical and the unconventional. Now the business and lifestyle coaching industry has a lucrative addition: love.
What are you waiting for? The secret is start now.
And more single people than ever are paying for advice to find love. But are we just chasing a dream, or is it really possible to buy love and happiness?
I am your coach and your friend, Robert Burale.
Robert!
Hi, how you doing?
Hi, how are you?
Welcome.
Should we do
We'll do this, right?
Robert Burale is one of Kenya's most popular life and love coaches. He invited me to a day retreat he was hosting for women looking for a husband.
What do you think the women are hoping to get from this course?
First and foremost, they want to meet somebody who will be with them and they can live happily ever after. But some are also broken and they want answers.
And you're hoping to fix them?
Yes. The question is, somebody would say, but I think I have what it takes. I have a good job. I have this and that. But how comes it doesn't happen for me?
So you're going to give them kind of hard, empirical advice
Yes.
to get the guy.
Right, absolutely. Because some are making crazy mistakes. So as much as we'll speak politely, my relationship angle of my business is called the naked truth. We'll also tell them some hard things.
Jane will be attending the course. She's 32 years old and a single mum who works at a call centre. She's also a part-time local model.
What if you learn nothing from it? What if you don't get to meet a guy at the end of this? Would it feel like it's a waste?
No. Okay, it wouldn't feel like a waste because even if you don't get someone, at least you'll hear something that you'll remember for the rest of your life.
According to the Global Coaching Federation, an industry body, dating and lifestyle coaches have doubled in popularity and worth since 2015, a boom from an ever-expanding online audience. Robert Burale is very aware of the power of his brand.
This is what we call the backdrop banner, the huge one that we put on stage. It's also brand positioning, brand visibility. But why black, you ask?
Why black?
Power.
But what does this brand say for women?
Well, first and foremost, this color is very acceptable to the women.
Pink.
Okay, pink is acceptable, and that's why we've used my name in pink so that they can trust me.
Are you joking?
No, I'm not.
Mary will also be attending Robert Burale's course. She's 35 and the oldest of 5 sisters.
Everyone else around you would expect you, being the firstborn in your family, you're the one who's supposed to be married first. Most pressure comes from the family, your parents, your grandparents, your uncles, aunties. They don't even know if they have ever had a boyfriend. Yeah.
So you're hoping that this is the answer to finding a husband?
I would say a 50-50 maybe. No, I wouldn't give it 100%. It's worth a try, I would say.
At the top end of this billion-dollar industry, Matthew Hussey is one of the global stars who's amassed millions of followers across his social media. He's based in the US, where the lifestyle coaching industry is the largest in the world.
Hello.
Hello, Matthew. How are you?
I'm good.
A booking at one of his lifestyle coaching retreats can cost several $1,000s.
For you, what would success look like?
You know, if someone approaches me on the street and says, I'm married because of you, that's great. If that's what you wanted and that's what you got, that's amazing. But by the way, I also want to make sure that through my work, you're just as happy if you didn't find that. I'm just as happy as for the breakups that I've been responsible for, as I am the relationships I've been responsible for.
Do you ever feel pressure that you might be selling some vulnerable women a dream?
I don't think I am selling a dream. For me, I'm definitely selling vulnerable people, but I count myself as one of them. If vulnerable is defined by someone who's willing to ask for help, or someone who's got something that they want to solve in their life and is brave enough to try to solve it, then that's my audience. But if someone comes to me for dating advice, I want to help them be happy whether it works or not, because it's not always going to work.
Back in Kenya, it's the big day. Some women have come from over 100 miles away to attend Robert Bareilly's event.
Well, thank you very much for coming. So today we will talk to you ladies on matters relationships. Some of you may realize you have been single not because the men are not there, but you have been single because of your own mistakes.
The day starts with a series of speakers, including Shazmeen.
When Burale asked me, Shazmin, we have women that have been through so much in life. I want you to come and talk to them. I lived with my husband for 5 years in a very emotionally, verbally, physically abusive relationship. And during that time, I started to learn who I was. And so after leaving my husband, after these 5 years, I divorced him. And then we began dating again. Yes, we began dating again, and he turned around and sort of came back home to the essence of who he was as a man, not who he thought he should be. But we never ever realize sometimes we come in broken and we're hoping somebody else would fix us. But in my journey,
I found Shazmeen's story of returning to a partner who had physically and mentally abused her concerning. So I wanted to discuss it further with Robert.
So we've had a series of speakers this morning.
Yes.
What did you think about our first speaker who came on?
Shazmeen is a speaker extraordinaire.
But she was speaking on stage with her former abuser just
Right
sitting
there.
over there.
And you know what? There's the power of her story. She was lucky enough to get out and come back in. Sadly, some never get out. And if they get out, it's through a coffin.
Right.
So this is the power of her story. We can never take it away from her story, from her. But the one thing I was very impressed about, and I was very careful to listen, she did not come out to tell people, go back.
The second half of the day was the main event, the man himself.
Are you ready for this? I want to tell you some of the mistakes you make.
Burale pulls women onto the stage to ask them why they felt the need for the course.
Well, how is everyone?
Mary starts.
What is this that you can tell us, the ladies and anybody who's watching, that would help them, based on your own story?
So I dated someone back in 2012. He was very hot. When I say hot, he's hot. 6-pack, good looking, everything. After the 3 months, communication went poof, dead. So when I called him to inquire what was happening, this guy told me, you know what? My lifestyle has changed. My class has changed. What would that tell you as a woman?
Made you feel lower?
Very low. That guy lowered like my self-esteem to a point that sometimes.
And I hope you understand that those words are not meant for you because they are not true of you, but it is somebody who wants to bring you down to their level. I appreciate her, please.
Jane had appeared to really embrace the day's speakers, and when it was her turn to take to the stage, she clearly had something on her mind that she wanted to share.
I've known Robert for quite some time, but I don't know whether he knows this, but now because I have the opportunity, let me confess something. There's a time I wanted to commit suicide, and he had a Facebook Live. He was talking about being on the ashes. So I was watching the episode with my daughter. We were in bed. In the middle of that Facebook Live, we fell asleep. And the next morning, I didn't know where to begin. I was like, oh my God, I'm alive. So I took the drugs and threw them away. So I prepared myself to go to work, and I prepared my daughter to go to school. If you see me crying, it's not because I'm broken. It's because I'm a strong woman. Continue encouraging people, Robert, because you don't know, you're saving lives out there with or without your knowledge.
Thank you very much. Let's appreciate her, please. All right, thank you. Where's Mr. Abe? We need the sanitizer, please.
I wanted to check in with Jane after the event. She seemed to have gone into Bareilly's event looking for tricks on how to meet a guy, but the day appeared to make her confront a lot more.
Yesterday after the function, I came and gave her a notebook, and she wrote something for me, like she was just telling me, "Mommy, you're beautiful, you're a great woman, I love you, just go to bed and relax." I don't know, it just made me feel good. It made me feel like I'm the best. It made me feel at ease. It made me feel at peace with myself. Yeah, and to know that she appreciates me, that made me feel like a superwoman. Yeah.
There are no guarantees offered when signing up for this kind of a course. But maybe it's not actually about the guarantee of love that people are signing up for. Perhaps it's to stop the feeling of helplessness waiting for love to arrive, feel secure in who you are, or maybe even to stop looking altogether.
So what have you learnt from that course, though? How are you going to approach things differently?
Actually, the most important takeout from that course was that just be happy, make yourself happy, love yourself first. Before you give love out there, give it to yourself fully. Don't panic, there's still time, there is still time. So I was told I'm still young.